What is going on, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love? My name is Jamal Pope, aka J Fenixx, and this is going to be your weekend astrology forecast for June 24th and 25th of 2023. Today is my younger sister's birthday, so happy birthday. I don't know if you're even gonna watch this, but happy birthday anyways. So all right, y'all. Let's hop into it, man. Y'all, I had a rough night. I had like a full blown panic attack. Haven't had one of those in like a while and stuff. It's crazy too. Like literally yesterday, the cards that I had for yesterday, which was what Temperance, the Three of Cups in reverse, and the Nine of Swords upright. I literally played that. I literally played it out. Like not even like super. Like, I don't even. I didn't mean to play it out that way, but like it literally, I literally manifested that shit. So interesting. I'm here. I'm good. Uh, those moments are always very intense, stuff like that. I haven't had one in a while, so it's like I'm still kind of like mentally recovering from that. So just a perfect example of don't overdo it. So at the Three of Cups in reverse, I overdid it, and I was just at home by myself. So yeah, that's the kind of energy that this is. You know, so if you're on the path, if you're aware, yeah, this energy can kind of come at you in interesting ways. But let's get into this transit. So this whole weekend we are essentially building up to that first quarter square of the moon. The sun is in Cancer. Moon is going to start the weekend in Virgo, of course, right? And we have several things that are going to be building. It seems like over like the last several Sundays, it's like been over the last several weekends, it's been the Sunday that's the day that things popped off. Now, granted, last Saturday was Saturn stationing retrograde, which is very intense, right? But it seems like Sunday is a day where things just like really start to like click, and like it's like like some pretty interesting challenges. But we have that moon in Virgo, which is still, of course, definitely from an emotional standpoint, is looking to kind of iron out all the details in life. It's a very humbling energy because it really definitely brings you back into reality in many ways. But of course, the moon did oppose Saturn, and it's going to be building up to opposing Neptune as well. So we have that to consider. Jupiter is coming off of the sextile to Saturn, although since these are larger planets, I typically give them a larger orb of influence, at least 2 to 3 degrees. So we're still going to be feeling that energy. Because Jupiter is further ahead as far as the degree goes, there's definitely going to be this element where we are definitely wanting to expand upon what it is that we see as valuable in our life, truly valuable too. So it's like there's going to be this element where, of course, Jupiter's kind of a party animal. I'm not even going to lie. But being in Taurus, it's like a party on the farm. You know what I mean? It's not in the city. It's like, it's not in the city. You know what I mean? It's not at the club. It's like on the farm and trying to like find some entertainment out there. But you know what? There's a lot of beauty on the farm too. And that's what Jupiter is wanting to expand. It's trying to expand this sort of, our understanding of the value of kind of like the simple pleasures. Taurus very much so enjoys the simple pleasures. So, Jupiter is going to still be moving forward as far as that goes, wanting to expand upon those areas and really have us explore the beauty in those areas. Now, the other aspects that we have that are building up today, right? Now, Mercury starts the day at 24 degrees of Gemini. By the end of the weekend, it's going to actually come into Cancer, which is actually pretty intense. Coming into Monday, it's going to actually go into Cancer because Mercury is moving fast. It's moving fast, okay? The other aspects, of course, that we have is that we do have Mars building up to its square to Uranus. So Saturn really is going to be like this day of building and budding energy because it's going to be Sunday that things really, really pop off. Now, as I move this forward, we're going to see a couple of different things happen. So, bam, you saw that? All right, so we have Black Moon Lilith that actually goes retrograde and actually will start to face Mars. there's going to be this element over the next couple days, right? Where it's like we may be afraid to take action on certain things, despite the fact that this planet is retrograde, but it's because they're facing each other now. So there's going to be this element now where it's like, say, like Mars and Leo is like going, it's like traveling to the dragon, right? You know what I mean? So it's like traveling to, you know, go slay the dragon to save the princess, right? And this in the dragon does something like out of the ordinary. The dragon actually comes out of the castle. It actually travels to the army itself. That's never happened before, right? It's never happened before where the dragon's like, screw it. They keep coming to me. Why don't I go to them? So there's going to be this element where they meet on the battlefield in Leo. So it's going to be like in the heart space and stuff too. That's interesting thing about this in our creative expression. So they're going to meet up. I think it's going to be actually at 22 degrees too. So yeah, it's also interesting too that is the degree that Pallas actually did move past Black Moon Lilith as well. So there's definitely this element where there's a lot of like, and that's the thing too. Pallas was like a strategic genius too, and Mars is going to be in that spot, and then Black Moon Lilith. So there's definitely, when it comes to like warlike energy, there's definitely something going on here with all this energy in Leo too. So it doesn't necessarily. I'm not saying that like war is actually going to like, well, war is breaking out. You know, we do have war right now in the world, so we all know that. But there's definitely going to be this element where you may even start to see this play out like on like the smaller scale in your personal life and stuff like that. You know, so definitely a very interesting aspect with all that energy here in Leo. And yes, while Pallas Athena and Black Moon Lilith are minor asteroids and minor planets, they still have their influence, especially being that in Leo, everything's going to be magnified when it gets into Leo. So the influences of these energies are going to be magnified just by the virtue of the fact that they are in Leo. So everything's going to be dramatized, everything's going to be brought up. I think there are reports, and I don't know if this is true, right? I don't know if this is true, so you have to go back and fact check this and stuff. But there were reports of there being like a coup within the Russian military, and that there's like going to be like some infighting and stuff. Yeah, that's all this. That's Black Moon Lilith moving backwards, looking at Mars, and Mars wanted to move past it. So it's sort of like we have to maintain our creative expression. We have to maintain our creative intelligence so we can move past any fears that we may have that have been plaguing our hearts for such a long time, or have been plaguing our inner child for such a long time, right? Venus, of course, is here, and it's also in Leo, wanting us to feel good too, but at the same time, like she's moving slow, like yeah, she's moving slow. I mean, she's heading to a square with Uranus eventually. Like Venus wants to kind of lend a hand here, but it's like she's not even at her 100%, right? She's you know still kind of caught up on maybe shiny different things that could be knocking her off as far as like, Venus and Leo is always like looking at the shiny beautiful thing, and that's what we feel like is going to change our lives and make things better, but it's not necessarily always the case, especially with Venus and shadow about to retrograde in this sign. There's definitely this element where we may be looking towards the feminine energy, and the feminine energy can't even really give us the comfort that we really, really are looking for. That's why it's a blessing that we have the sun in Cancer now, at least, because now, at least with the sun in Cancer, not only are Cancers are the natural clerics of the zodiac. The great thing about the sun in Cancer is that their power is boosted just by being them. So Cancers kind of almost become like Scorpios when the sun goes into this time, because they are natural healers and they're just going to start healing people. Whereas Scorpios are more of like a transmuter of energy. So they will just unintentionally just like start transmuting energy around them, converting it from good to bad, bad to good. It goes both ways, right? But whenever the sun is in Cancer, it gives them like this boosting energy of being able to just heal the collective just by virtue of them being them. So it's like there's going to, like I said, we're going to be relying on that sort of energy. But remember, the sun has a masculine energy. It rules Leo. So that's the thing about this. We're the compassion and stuff like that that we're looking for, the kindness, the healing, I'll even say just like the warmth, the blanket that we're looking for right now. It's not going to be coming from the sources that we want them to come from, but that doesn't mean that they can't come. I'm really hearing Uncle Eero, that like from Avatar. It's that kind of compassion energy. It's kind of it's coming from more about that elderly male figure, right? About like how like shoot, this is someone like I'm hearing that's like kind of been through a good bit. It's been through life, and it's going to be through that energy that we are going to feel the more the safety and the security that we're looking for, but also at the same time the encouragement that we need to move forward, and also kind of taking a bit of the pressure off. Like you don't have to do all these different things. You don't have to have everything figured out. The moon of Virgo is going to want us trying to figure out everything emotionally and stuff like that. And our emotions can be tied to trying to figure out all these details. And if all the details aren't necessarily there, then we could really wig ourselves out. We don't want to do that. We don't want to wig ourselves out this weekend just because we don't have all the answers, and just because maybe the healing or the compassion or the sort of coddling, hugging, motherly like energy that we want may not be coming from the sources that we need. Or if it is coming from that source, it may not necessarily be at its full strength. That's the only thing about it. So we have to accept and embrace whatever it is that we, receive as far as that healing energy goes this weekend, and not, judge it for how it comes. Some of you guys are going to be healed some of you guys are going to have healing this weekend. I think everyone's going to have some sort of healing this weekend. This honestly will probably be a good weekend to cry it out, just in general. But no, for real, I think whatever it comes to, like the people that are going to impact us and bring about some type of healing, some type of compassion, some type of like a hug, is going to come from a place that you're not really going to expect. And it's not going to, on the surface, look like that motherly, let me hold you, let me kiss your wounds kind of deal. It may come from that, right? This is a general reading, right? So it may come from that. But I'm getting the feeling, my intuition is telling me that it's not going to look like that. It's not going to look like that. So as we continue to move this forward on Saturday, we're going to see, that's the thing. Yeah, Mercury is moving really, really fast. Mars is going to actually square Uranus this weekend. So, as far as like Saturday goes, Pallas is going to come off that 22nd degree. So that's interesting as well. It's actually like really moving forward and moving through that fear, if you will. So I actually am hearing victory, with Athena. I'm hearing victory. You're going to definitely get some sort of small victory this weekend, on today with that, because I'm making this on Saturday morning. So there's definitely going to be some sort of victory that comes through today. And I think it's sort of like a mental victory too, because it has that 23 degrees. 2 + 3 is 5, and 5 is the number of Mercury and Gemini and astrology. That's what, or numerology. But also too, you got to think about it. It's like she is like a mental strategist. And when it comes to like this Leo energy, I'm channeling Athena a lot. I know it's a minor asteroid, but Athena is one of my guides, so I do have to channel her a bit. But being that it's in Leo 2, 3, and also 5, you think about it, it's like a freedom kind of energy too, because it's with these 5 fingers. Gemini does rule the extremities, right? So it's with these 5 fingers that we're able to morph the world around us and do all of the different things. It's because we're able to pick up things and move things around. So there's definitely going to be a sort of like freedom, I think, that comes with recognizing that we can overcome these challenges and that we have overcome so much. Today's going to be, today's going to be a day where it's like, recognize the small victories this weekend. Recognize all the small victories that you guys have. I think we all have milestones that we have completed. Either we completed them yesterday or today or this weekend. We all have some milestones that can definitely be celebrated in its own way. Maybe we just don't go as hard in the paint as I did like last night, but that's the thing about this too. So you got to be able to, once again, you got to find the excitement and the simple pleasures. So now, of course, you have the sun that's moved to 3 degrees. We have Mercury at 25 degrees, moving really fast. Now, like I said, it's going to be Sunday is the day that we really see some interesting energy. And let me go ahead and show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right. So, because what we essentially are going to have is that we're going to have a T square and a square overlaid with each other. So let me go ahead and get to that energy. Because that moon is going to come to 27 degrees. Here it is right here. This is the big moment in Sunday. This is going to be 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the moon at 27 degrees. We have Neptune at 27 degrees. And we have Mercury squaring both of them at 27 degrees. This is a T square. Now, T squares are very powerful moments. They can provide a lot of challenge, but it's also through overcoming the challenge of a T square. Like if you have a T square in your birth chart, you've dealt with a lot of issues and a lot of attrition, a lot of different challenges, of course, based off wherever these planets are. But you've dealt with a lot of challenges probably early on in your life. But it's through overcoming those challenges that actually gives you an incredible freaking superpower. Now, the thing about this T square is that's happening between mutable energy. We have the moon in Virgo, Neptune, which is in Pisces, and Mercury, which is in Gemini. You have the two fastest energies that we track in astrology. You have the moon and Mercury. Like I said, the moon moves around, like, at least at the moment it's moving. How fast is the moon moving? It's moving 12 degrees a day. Mercury is moving 2 degrees a day. So these are very fast moving energies, right? And then you have Neptune, the second slowest moving energy, right? Not to mention, Neptune's not going to make it past 27 degrees either. It's going to retrograde at this degree. So that just means that whenever the moon, while during that retrograde, that whenever the moon hits 27 degrees of Gemini and 27 degrees of Virgo, it's going to activate this T square again and remind us of it. So that's the thing about that too. But we're going to have this major T square between these energies, right? Neptune is at home, of course. Mercury is at home. The moon, it's at Virgo, still trying to look for all the details and kind of perfect things out. And our emotions can be like, if things aren't perfect, don't wig yourself out today. This is an energy, I'm not even gonna lie, this is an energy that if you don't just kind of tap more into this Taurus energy and ground yourself, right? Then and if you also don't there's also the sun is in Cancer too, so it's also comes to this is a different kind of intuition, right? This is a more I'm hearing, our this is a different kind of intuition, right? Because with this T square, our emotions are going to be a little unreliable. I think the emotions can definitely be a guide, but the problem with this one is that since it is the T square, excuse me, you don't want to make any crazy or rapid decisions, especially for a transit that's not going to last long because, like I said, the moon moves very fast. It's going to come into Libra, so it's not like this energy is going to last very long. It's going to be a couple of hours. We'll still feel the remnants of it, we'll still be in the wake of it, but is not going to last that long. But this is the kind of transit that can cause anxiety. This is the kind of transit that can really cause that kind of stuff, especially considering the fact that Mercury is moving super fast. So our mind can be bouncing all over the place. Then we have Neptune and Pisces, which brings about this spiritual quality to it. There's almost wild card kind of energy. Where we could really, there's maybe this desire to really escape because our reality doesn't look the way that we want. So we may want to escape. And then our mind is going to be like squaring both of these energies. It could be like bam, 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 and trying to figure all of this stuff out. And on top of that, Mercury is quincunxing Pluto. And on top of that, Mars at 21 degrees of Leo is squaring Uranus at 21 degrees of Taurus. So you have a T square, immutable, overlaid with a square of Mars in Leo, which is definitely wanting to move forward with these creative passions and these creative expressions and really get that going. Squaring Uranus, the planet of electricity, the mad scientist in Taurus, really shaking things up. Don't trip out this weekend. I already tripped out last night, but don't trip out this weekend. Don't do it. This is going to be a weekend like where you really want to find something that's going to be grounding, like touching grass, touching a tree. Um, make sure you drink plenty of water this weekend. That's the other part about this. Make sure you drink plenty of water this weekend. Things like that. Take deep breaths, meditate, you know, spend time with the people that you love the most. I'm working this whole weekend, so yeah, that's gonna be fun for me. But this is gonna be a weekend like where we potentially could trip ourselves out because reality doesn't look exactly the way that we want it to. And even though there's a lot of positive things that are going on in our life, even though we have things that we can celebrate and stuff, we may be too hard on ourselves because it doesn't look exactly the way that we want to in this exact moment. But we had to just accept the divine timing of the universe and accept that God has a way and knows. That's the thing about this. So, pretty intense energy. Pretty intense energy. Yeah, I mean, because like I said, like you have that quincunx right there that's building between Mercury and Pluto, right? Yeah, the moon, which is not going to go void, of course, because Pluto is here at 29 degrees, so it's going to trine. It's going to trine that energy, right? You see, bam, it's going to trine the energy, and then of course, coming into the evening, that moon's going to enter into Libra. Yeah, moon to enter into Libra, and then as you can see, you just keep it moving forward. It's really going into the next day. You can see that Mercury is already at 28 degrees by the end of the day. So even Mercury's coming off that energy. So that T square energy is going to be fast. It's going to be intense. It's going to be amplified by the fact that there's another square happening, a fixed square that's happening at the same time with Uranus and Mars, which is like a volcano erupting. Like this is pretty intense energy. Like literally that T square it literally gives me the vibes of like alien activity around a volcano, which there are conspiracies about that anyways. Because you literally have the electricity with the Uranus and like you have the Earth, you have the fire with the Mars and like the lava and stuff. Then you have the moon, which will be in Virgo, which is like us. You have Neptune, which is the other out there energy and stuff like that. And then you have Mercury and Gemini, which is like picking up on the weird transmissions that we're getting from that. But that energy is not going to last that long. It's going to be very fast. It's going to be very intense, though. So that's why you really want to make sure on Sunday that you just kind of like ground yourself in something, listen to music, maybe eat some good food, spend time with your loved ones, go outside if you're able to go outside, touch some grass, do something. Last night I used video games to help calm me down and it worked, right? So just find something that's going to help to bring you back to center because we're going to kind of encounter like this little mini storm this weekend, but we can get through it too. This is all about overcoming these challenges and realizing that we are far more capable than we give ourselves credit for and that we don't have to have all the answers right now. We can let go and let God this weekend. This is really definitely a great weekend to let go and let God. So let's go ahead and get the cards for the day. I also realized that yesterday I forgot to draw the Oracle card as well. So, but yeah, so it's interesting too because the first quarter square is going to happen like really early Monday morning. So, and I want to say that by that time, come on, guys. Yeah, I want to say that by that time, let me just look at this. By the time that we hit that first quarter square, no, Mercury will be at 28 degrees by the time we hit the first quarter square. So it's getting a lot closer. It's getting a lot closer. What's interesting too is that Black Moon Lilith actually moves back on the 21 degrees, so it's actually going to meet Mars at that degree. So there's it's going to meet Mars at the degree that it squares Uranus with. So there's the fear aspect coming in too about this kind of otherworldly energy too with the Uranus and Taurus and stuff like that with the whole volcano and us witnessing all this and getting weird transmissions and stuff like that and trying to figure out what the freak is going on right now. It's like, yeah, we can definitely psych ourselves out, and be, fearful of whatever changes that may be coming or how this world is shifting forever. But don't be afraid, you know what I mean? So have the courage to move forward, and shoot. I mean, even if you are afraid, you still have weapons in your arsenal, so don't forget what you have in your arsenal. Don't forget the love that's in your heart. That's the greatest tool at your disposal. That's the greatest tool in your disposal. The tool is just you, recognizing that you are an infinite spark of the divine, the love that you have in your heart. That's what's going to help get you through this moment. All right, let's get the cards for this weekend. All right, so I do have the Page of Swords in reverse. I also have that followed by the Justice card upright. And we do also have the Fool. Wow. It seems like Justice is siding on the side of the Fool instead of the Page of Swords. That's what I'm getting. The Page of Swords, and like I said, I always say that pages are students. They're students of their craft, right? Being that it's in reverse, this is a student that is certainly want to communicate, probably is more on the diplomatic side. This is probably someone that's like maybe studying to be like a politician or something like that. I'm just saying generally. You could meet this kind of person, but this is what this energy kind of shows. So yeah, this is someone that's maybe studying to kind of be more of like a diplomat, but they're still like in their infancy. And this maybe is there's this energy with the Page of Swords in reverse where it's like, yeah, don't just rely on logic right now. Don't just rely on logic right now. Don't just rely on trying to logically figure things out this weekend. That Justice card upright, of course, is looking for some sort of balance, right? But at the same time, I think that's what's happening. I think we're all are looking for some sort of justice right now in our personal lives and like the world at large, But you have the Fool card here. So the universe is literally asking us to just really be ourselves. It's upright too. So just to be ourselves. And if you embarrass yourself, so be it. Some of you guys are afraid to really move into your true authenticity because you're afraid that you're going to embarrass yourself. I would say just like, you just gotta accept yourself for all, for like your flaws and all, every single little intricacy about you, every single quirk about you. That's the thing about this is that some of you guys might actually find your quirks this weekend. My Hero Academia reference. So like, that's the thing about this. Once you truly accept your quirks for who you are, you can really move forward in a super powerful way. But this is a let go and let God kind of moment too. I do want to draw one more card. Yeah, we have the Devil card here too. So yeah, there's definitely going to be this element where several of you guys are feeling like you are in some sort of battle with a dark force this weekend. This is definitely going to be a moment where we all need to stay grounded, in what truly matters and not be overcome by darker and deeper desires that we have probably explored before, but that don't really give us what we want anymore. Maybe at one point it did, but maybe it's time to actually move on and realize that that thing no longer serves you. Yeah, that's the other part about it too. That could be a hard lesson to learn too. So that could be a hard lesson to learn. What do we have for the Oracle card message for today? I had the card of synergy. The card of synergy. The frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of the not so obvious, never seen before, combinations and unions that results in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that the new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality. Yeah,